So we all know that the Kevin Smith He-Man show was an absolute failure. I don't think that's any secret to anyone who's either watched the show or even just read anything about the show, watched any videos about the show. No one really liked it. You know, it was obviously false advertising. They were obviously pulling the bait and switch that everyone else is pulling nowadays. Mostly, I think Marvel is setting the example. They're the prime example for that. And Kevin Smith is obviously a big Marvel fan, so he just took some inspiration from Marvel. He said, hey, we can get some easy viewership if we act like this is a He-Man show, and then turn it into a Tila show, turn into the, about the women of the show, and kind of kill He-Man off multiple times. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but kill He-Man off multiple times in the show, in the first season, or the first part of the first season, and then brag about it on his YouTube channel, which got absolutely ratioed into oblivion whenever he did that. But I think a lot of people are underestimating how big of a failure this show actually was, and how much Netflix actually took into account that this was a failure. Netflix definitely noticed that this was an absolute failure, and I wouldn't be surprised if after part 2, I don't know if they were ever planning to do anything after part 2, but if they never made another He-Man that's a Kevin Smith He-Man show, I would not be surprised at all. And I would be surprised if they didn't go for more He-Man of the other animated He-Man show that they made recently, because they made another one and it got actually pretty well received on Rotten Tomatoes. And honestly, any review that I ever saw of it online, it got pretty well received. You know, it was pretty well received by pretty much everyone, even people who really didn't like this version of the Netflix He-Man show, the Masters of the Universe Revelation show. And I mean, look, He-Man's not in the title, obviously, so you can say that, hey, we shouldn't have expected it to be a He-Man show. But if you look at all the advertising, man, all the first trailer that came out that made everyone so hyped. I think the first trailer was the I Need a Hero trailer. Everyone got so hyped off that trailer, and we thought it was going to be He-Man. I mean, look at the picture right here. I don't know if I can blow this up. I don't think I can. But if you look in the middle, that is He-Man right there in the middle with Skeletor on top of him. There's no big Tila in the middle of that picture. Tila is not there. She's not really present at all. I can't really pick her out from that. You know, it's a small picture, but I can't really pick her out from there. It looks like it would be a He-Man show, but it does just say Masters of the Universe Revelation, so you can say, that's kind of a pass, right? But then you look at the marketing. Just look at the marketing for the show. Look what Kevin Smith was saying on Twitter whenever Clownfish TV tried to call him out and said that the show is not actually going to be a He-Man show. It's actually going to be about Tila, and He-Man is barely present, and when he is present, he is made to look weak to prop up Tila and the other women of the show. He denied that multiple times on Twitter. He denied that over and over again on Twitter and kind of slandered Clownfish TV's name. And I forgot, maybe it was Screen Rant who posted the Clownfish TV report, but he also slandered whatever website that was that posted their report as well. So he's not only slandering Clownfish TV, but slandering other people who, who are using Clownfish TV as their sources. But then this show came out, the He-Man and Masters of the Universe, that actually has He-Man in the title, and it's only He-Man in the picture. And this show got a 79% audience score, 80% critic rating. Let's go back to this one. 94% critic rating and 39% audience score. Also, this audience score is very, very doctored. I believe this audience score was around 25% when the show first came out. I think about a week into the show releasing on Netflix, it was around 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then they froze the reviews. It was honestly, I think it was less than a week in, maybe 3 days into the show being out. They froze the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and then they bumped it up 13% after they froze the reviews, which is very weird because whenever they're frozen, you can't leave any more reviews. So how does the score go up if no one can leave a review? Well, it's just obvious doctoring by Rotten Tomatoes, trying to keep Netflix happy, trying to keep Kevin Smith happy, trying to make them look better. You know the deal. Rotten Tomatoes does this all the time. They did it for Captain Marvel. They even made a new rule for Captain Marvel because the audience score was so bad for Captain Marvel. They had to make a new rule or a new set of ratings or whatever it is, where they don't even count 1-star reviews anymore. They don't even count that. So is it really a 5 scale or a 5-star review system if you don't count the 1-star reviews? How do you not count the 1-star reviews? That's crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. And also you have to be verified and prove that you bought a ticket to the movie and stuff like that. That all happened because of Captain Marvel, because of how bad the audience score was for Captain Marvel. And they have to keep Disney happy. They have to keep the Marvel and Disney overlords happy, because if they're not happy, you're in big trouble. But also, I just wanted to show everyone how big of a failure this Masters of the Universe Revelation show truly is. It's not because people are, tired of Masters of the Universe content. It's not because no one cares about Masters of the Universe content. I actually watched this show, and it is way better than a Masters of the Universe show. I watched the He-Man Masters of the Universe show. It is so much better than this Masters of the Universe. The only bad thing I have to say about this show is I'm not a big fan of the animation style. It kind of reminds me of Fortnite. But honestly, This animation, the Masters of the Universe Revelation animation, is actually really good, but it does have some cringy moments in it. It does have some time where I think that the animation looks a little bit kiddie, but for the most part, it looks like the Castlevania animation, which I think Castlevania is top tier animation. I don't know how much better animation can really get after Castlevania. I hope that it keeps getting better. You know, it seems like it's going in that direction. But dude, Castlevania's animation, and honestly, this Master of the Universe show, the Revelation animation, is also very good. So both of those are very good. I just think that the Masters of the Universe Revelations animation I know I'm saying animation a lot. I'm sorry. It sounds kind of weird when I say Revelation animation, but the Revelation animation does have some cringy moments in it in comparison to Castlevania's animation. I believe it was done by the same studio. But this show, I just wanted to show everyone how big of a failure the other Masters of the Universe show was. Let's go look at some of these reviews. Brilliant new take of the classic. No need to destroy something to create something beautiful. Yes, Revelation, I am looking at you. Give me more. Old fan or new, you will love this. Superb. Better than the last Masters of the Universe, but still not great. And yes, I watched the original and collected figures. So as you can see, I think that this show's audience score is probably boosted up a little bit because of how bad the Revelation score was and how much people hated the Revelation show. Because whenever you have something to compare it to like that is that bad, it's kind of hard to be worse than that. You know, especially if you even respect the He-Man character at all. If you make him the main character of the show, it'll be hard to do worse than the Revelation show. But I'm a fan of the MOTU cartoons, toys, and movies. It was part of my childhood in the 80s. I watched the CGI series expecting something new and got what I wanted. This was actually better than I thought. Reimagining, which pays respect to the original source material. That is key right there. Pays respect to the original source material. It's very rare nowadays for all these reboots and remakes that are happening for them to actually pay respect to the source material. But I think that they're actually learning. I think Hollywood is actually learning. If you think about everything that's going on right now, you have, The Mandalorian does pay respect with Ahsoka and stuff like that. But more importantly, Luke Skywalker, it pays respect to Luke Skywalker. And also Luke Skywalker was on the front page of StarWars.com. And in the paragraph next to his picture, they talked about how much respect needs to go into his character, how much care needs to go into the creation of each episode or movie that he's in. And that's just something that they never talked about before. So that was good to see. And you have shows like Cobra Kai coming out. I just think that Hollywood is starting to realize Ghostbusters is another good example. Ghostbusters 2016 was an awful representation of how to respect the original source material, just an awful movie in general as well. But then it looks like this new Ghostbusters movie will truly respect what came before it, other than the 2016 one, because no one really cares about that one. But this newer version of He-Man is much better than the previous failed attempt to remake the show. The July release was more like a Tila remake and would have been better marketed as such, not using the old name. I agree. This is really good. I recommend it to the new viewers, kids, old viewers. So as you can see, very, very positive reviews. And a lot of these reviews have Revelations mentioned in them because of how horrible and how much everyone hated that show. Like I said, hard to make a show that's similar, that's going to be as bad. It's pretty hard to make a show that's about He-Man and not blow away Revelations reviews, because the show was falsely advertised, straight up just falsely advertised, not only by Netflix, but also by Kevin Smith on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think about this absolute failure that Kevin Smith put on with this 39% audience score, which is also doctored. Let's just call it 25% because that's what it really is, versus this 79%. Let me know if you've seen both of these shows and let me know what you think of both of them. Like I said, this one is way better. I just wish that this one had the animation of the other one because I'm not really a fan of the childish Fortnite style animation. Let me know what you think though about the animation and about the quality of the shows. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you next one.